The National Cathedral, a highly contentious initiative from the previous Nanado administration, has generated significant public backlash. This 1 billion Ghana cedis project, currently stalled at the foundation stage, is surrounded by allegations of financial mismanagement, procurement violations, and inconsistent financial reporting, contributing to the numerous scandals that plagued the former government. As a result, state institutions have been mandated to conduct investigations. Former Finance Minister Ofori-Atta is now under investigations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor for his role in the National Cathedral controversies, among other issues. During a press conference in Accra, Special Prosecutor Kisi Jabing announced that the office will pursue all legal avenues to address the charges against Ofori-Atta.
The OSP declined Mr. Ofori-Atta's request to be away from the jurisdiction indefinitely on medical grounds on his say-so. Consequently, the OSP directed Mr. Ofori-Atta to indicate by close of business on Monday, 10 February 2025, a reasonable date of his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. The OSP warned Mr. Ofori-Atta that if he failed so to do, the OSP would take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP at our own choosing.
A special prosecutor has initiated investigations into alleged corruption cases involving the Jinapor Royalties Limited.
The OSP has also commenced investigation into suspected corruption-related offenses in respect of government payroll administration. We further recall, as you do remember, that to facilitate the rollout of the investigation and assessment throughout the country, a pilot exercise was carried out in the northern region, covering educational institutions under Ghana Education Service and the Tamale Teaching Hospital, by a joint team comprising investigators, tracers, and assessors from the OSP and selected staff of the Payroll Processing Directorate of the Controller and Accountant General Department between December 2023 and April 2024.
The principle of natural justice and due process demand that before any declaration of a fugitive status is made, a full and thorough verification of the circumstances must be conducted. In this instance, the OSP failure to acknowledge the valid and documented explanation provided by Mr. Ofori-Atta's legal team is alarming. Mr. Speaker, the omission not only undermines the right of an individual who has rendered distinguished service to our nation, but also calls into question the procedure with which our justice system is being administered.
We should not be afraid of accountability. As public officials, when they took my laptop, it got to a point they couldn't even open the iPhone. I told them I was willing to come and use my fingerprint. It was then and there that they told me that the phones had been taken to the United Kingdom. I had to give them the password. Eventually, the very America that I was accused of, a minister was dismissed because it came here padded by almost $800 million. Mr. Speaker, on this auspicious day, on this day of reckoning, on this day of accountability, the only thing I can say is that we wish the man in white,
5 minutes.
The best of luck.
It's up.
But Mr. Speaker,
5 minutes is up.
The finance minister should come here and settle the scores as far as
5 minutes is up.
In a democracy, you do not use soldiers to raid somebody's home, especially when that person has told you, that I am not in the country and I will report when I get back. Ofori-Atta wrote to the OSP that, look, I am not in the country, I've received the invitation and I will come back and report to you for any investigation. You have no right, Mr. Speaker, you have no right to send soldiers to raid a man's house when he's not there. When he has told you that I will come, I'm out of the country. It is worse than armed robbery. In fact, to the extent that I have seen pictures of Richard Jinapor, who has just been forgiven of his sins, raiding somebody else's house.
If you are a Ghanaian and you respect yourself, Ghana has gone into debt restructuring and embarrassed globally. Who did that? Ken Ofori-Atta did that. The Ghanaians who bought our bonds, Ghanaians who bought our bonds went through a DDEP. Who did that? Ken Ofori-Atta. And so, if you get up to defend this person who has robbed us of our peace and happiness, and you expect me to debate this in a manner that is not debatable, I beg to differ. But Mr. Speaker, the truth is that the OSP has made it very clear that the state did not send anybody to Ken Ofori-Atta's house.
Let's now engage private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu for a conversation at the back of this new development. Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us on Newsnight.
Yeah, good evening.
Right. Counsel, I would like to find out from you, is the OSP right in declaring Ken Ofori-Atta a fugitive of justice, first of all?
So let's separate it this way. In law, right, to the extent that under Section 28 of the law, the OSP has police powers, and so just like the way police declare people wanted, OSP too can do so. There are those powers. OSP is a law enforcement agency with full police powers, right? But on the facts of this case, I'm thinking that because the Ken Ofori-Atta's lawyers wrote to him and showed him the hospital where Ofori-Atta would be, I wonder whether in this case you should say he's a wanted person, because they've shown you where he's going to be taking the medical care. So that's one. We've not quite developed the area of part of the law in Ghana. So like you see, you point to a Supreme Court decision, many of them are clarified. So far, using the normal lawyer's way of thinking, it's difficult to see why he would say that the person is wanted when you know where he is. Because the letter says this is where he's going for the medical treatment, so he'll be there. Or maybe, I don't know. You see, so sometimes some of these things, if OSP is coming to make statements like this, you have to carry the nation along. At least come along. You see, we are all lawyers. As I said, Ghana, we haven't developed this part of the law very well, where we have the Supreme Court declaring that you can say somebody is wanted in this case and say he's not wanted in another. So if you think that, oh, maybe in America, even in such cases, you can declare him wanted, at least come out of that material, that literature, let's see. Because at least if you did your research and you got that information as OSP.
All right, Counsel, some have also described it as embarrassing and disgracing the manner in which the Office of the Special Prosecutor goes about some of his activities in the media, and of the view that he should wait till he gets full evidence or before giving updates to the media. What do you make of this as well?
That sunshine is the best disinfectant. So if in his wisdom, if he's reached a path or a stage where he needs to bring the Ghanaian people up to speed, he may do so. So I don't agree. But it just depends on the content of what you get. Like in this case that we are saying, you know the hospital where the person will be, and you say he's wanted. So then that one becomes difficult to see, especially also as he had a full year. This SML matter started in December, at least like the Manasseh expose coming out, December 2023. And Ofori-Atta was here 2024. Yeah, so why would you wait? Then 2025 is traveling, and that's the time that you say you're declaring.
All right, Counsel, now I'll beg of you to kindly stay on the line for us whilst we take a Facebook post from Mustafa Hamid, who is the former CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, where he's saying that his attention has been drawn to an announcement by the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisi Ejabin, that he is under investigation for some alleged embezzlement of funds at the Unified Petroleum Price Fund, UPFF, during his tenure as the Chief Executive of the National Petroleum Authority. And he says that as of this afternoon, He has neither received any invitation by any state investigative body nor have been under investigation for any such alleged crime. He is, however, willing to avail himself to assist in any investigations of embezzled or alleged embezzlement of funds. Counsel, let me come back to you and seek your views on this particular response from the former CEO.
Okay. So Mustafa Hamid is saying he's now.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, in law, the investigator can go ahead, and actually it's recommended that he does his full investigation before coming to the suspect. If only at least the suspect is not running away. And I'm sure Mustafa Hamid doesn't look like somebody. I may be wrong. So, well, let me just stay away from that. But we are discussing the principle. So the principle is, yes, an investigator should do his full investigation, understand the case well, and think it's a good case before coming in for the suspect. Because Ghana, all too often, we complain that the police come and arrest just at the least. Of course, sometimes because maybe the suspect is a flight risk. But a lot of the time, too, you don't see flight risk. The police come too early, and then they seek to coerce the accused or the suspect to rather give.
All right, Counsel, if you can hear me, I would like to find out from you, finally, before you go, if you were to advise Ken as your client, what would be your advice to him? Is it that he should go ahead and sue the OSP